to the match arena page where you could make the magic happen to the bottom right hand side of the Abyssal Reef. Our orange Protoss player from Root Gaming, give it up if you're cheering on puCK! Top left hand side, our red Zerg from OSC Elite. It is Cham. Stormstar 96 says, yo, Wardy, so ready. I want to hear how ready all of you guys are in the chat. And don't forget, you can support your players as well. You can hashtag Cham, you can hashtag puCK to let us know who you are cheering on in this best of 5. As we say, get set up, get rolling. Probe just a nibbling. Wait at a drone or two here. And we're getting set up into this. So, yesterday we saw Cham coming out ahead against puCK Bunny, and puCK came out against Semper. It was a much closer series between puCK and Semper than it was between Cham and puCK Bunny, but it has been puCK playing very well the last couple of weeks, the last week or so throughout this event, and I'm intrigued to see what he can do here if he does win out. He will go to that finals, of course, would be exciting to see. And again, just to kind of give you guys the information as well, like because this is a PvZ now and a TVT later, our last 2 matches of the night will be TVZ, TVP, so it'll obviously be non-mirror matchups in our 3rd place match and in our grand finals. So should be a pretty cool deal of action, honestly. Really looking forward to it. Really think it could go pretty awesome. And I think it could be a pretty cool set of games. And it has been a fantastic event to run. This has been a first kind of running event in an American-friendly time zone. Obviously, we've pulled it forwards a little bit here for the playoff stays on the weekend, so that European fans can tune in a little bit more easily. You guys can watch as well, rather than having to stay up until like, well, we were starting at like midnight European time for the group stages, which obviously isn't too friendly. Yeah, it's been a lot of fun, and definitely probably thinking of doing some more of this again in the future. So, yeah, good stuff. Stargate dropping down from puCK as he opens here in game number 1. Stargate going to be finishing in just a few moments. And a couple of probes coming down to the lower ground. As we do just get set up and rolling here in the early stages. The hashtags are coming in, the votes from the chat. You got Ibash on the hashtag puCK, same as Storm, Tinspire as well. Alpha Primordium. Nanuka North also on the hashtag puCKs. Some hashtag Chams as well, Starchild SC2, Chris Vector cheering on Cham as well, Jim Sock also on the side of Cham here. How you doing today, mate? And how are we all feeling as well in general, guys? It's Sunday evening, what a better time to just chill out, watch some StarCraft 2, and enjoy some great games together. What we all thinking? You guys had a good weekend? Everyone had a good few days to kind of chill out? Anyone doing anything exciting in the week coming up? I want to hear from you guys. I want to hear what's going on in your worlds in the next over the next couple of hours as we again close out the weekend with this WardiTV America's Open playoffs. Really has been a wonderful event. I've had so much fun running this. I can't stress that enough. It's been so awesome. I mean, it's always really awesome. I figured this out around this time last year. I ran my first kind of individual event in a long time, the Wardi Open event, and it was in Christmas. Around Christmas, I ran the WardiTV Christmas Invitational, which was the first event I ever ran, which was like a 7-day sort of marathon of games, basically like group stages over 4 days, and then a playoff stage, etc. And just wrapping up like an entire event in a week. And it really does feel awesome to think that kind of like 2.5 weeks ago, this event didn't exist. And in those 2.5 weeks, we've created this event, we've held qualifiers, and we've had some amazing games play out through 16 players through groups, and we've had hundreds and even thousands of people tuning in to watch. I have to say as well, the viewership definitely has been very, well, excellent, honestly, as the status wall gets denied. We've had insane viewership throughout the entirety of the event as well. I really have been surprised, honestly. It's been surprised, it's been a nice surprise, obviously, but, yeah, it's been really cool. As you see this Phoenix going to poke away. I've got an overlord there. Only opening. Nothing too crazy here from puCK, nor from Cham. And puCK behind this. Going into the Twilight and the Forge. Getting himself set up in towards those Charge Lot Archon drop plays that we've been seeing a fair amount of in the PvZ as of late. Phoenix still on that Overlord there, just looking to do a little bit more damage to the Oracles. Pop that Pulsar Beam, but don't find anything to kill just yet. They'll come in towards the third where they'll get 2 workers. Just a few too many Queens around and not really any openings. Cham, a very solid defense here in the early stages as these couple of Oracles do manage to escape up the top side. And, well, they might have to come through a couple of Queens to actually get out once and for all. He's going to lose an Oracle. No way. 1 hit point. Okay, I mean, out of all the calls I could have made, you know, I think it's pretty fair to assume that this Oracle is going to die. 1 hit point live in. That's absolutely crazy. As we see, this Phoenix is actually going to get herself 3rd kill of the game. 3rd Overlord going down now as it picks that off there. Nicely done. As we're going to see the Phoenix coming back in towards the center of the map. Hydra's Den dropping down from Cham in the natural. The Bane Nest is on the way up too, and he goes in towards a very standard Lingbane Hydra playstyle. Nothing out of the ordinary, nothing too ridiculous or crazy. Very straight up play still from our Protoss player and from our Zerg. And there's that Templar Archives. Although puCK is already making an Immortal, so in a second row or two, so he's probably not going to commit too much to all of the Zealots and the Archons, etc. In fact, with the 4th base still coming up and, you know, the second robo as well, it's all just investments which obviously don't really allow him to be hyper aggressive on the front of the, you know, with a War Prism at the front, etc. As we're going to be seeing the Storm starts up, so he's just going to go straight into Storm, and we'll see how this goes. It'll be interesting to see how he changes up throughout the game as the Phoenix finds its 4th kill of the game. The Oracles find themselves a couple more drones and actually going to try and fight away this Queen. Not sure why the other Oracle, I guess maybe just didn't have the energy to activate his Pulsar Beam. This one's low on health though, so it has to go away, so that's an unfortunate missed opportunity to pick that Queen up. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see how the games develop and whether puCK, you know, off of a similar opening in the next games, also decides to go for, you know, see what other openings he decides to really invest into, see what other openings he tries to explore here. Be very interesting as we do see the Oracle's still just moving around. It inspires on his lunch break, go SE2. I mean, great way to spend your lunch break, grabbing a quick bit of StarCraft action. Hard not to grab some StarCraft action today. We've been live all day long. We've been live, the stream's been live for 7 hours now. We were rebroadcasting for a few hours in between there, but obviously it's still StarCraft, it still counts. Just wanted to keep the stream live between events, obviously does help out a little bit. Helps out with the viewers and stuff like that. We even get to run some cheeky extra ads and make some, you know, make some more dirty esport dollars. How dirty of us. How naughty. So we do just set up still. Just see where things are going to go. Not sure what's going on with my FPS though. Something's just not right at the moment. I feel as though I've just got something open that I don't usually have open. That's really slowing us down here as Cham is about to get aggressive, so we'll have to try and worry about this a little bit later on. As you see, these few Hydras are going to be pushing up the ramp, and obviously there's the issue on Abyssal Reef. Very difficult to deal with the, you know, few units at the natural, which can then so easily rotate around towards your 4th. Let's see how puCK does this. He does have storms to utilize. You're going to be seeing those Banes. Not quite sure where they want to go now. The force field's coming down. Just block those Banes out. A lot of Banes behind the mineral line. Probes pull away eventually, but it took them a long time, and the cannon is picking up a lot of kills in the meanwhile. And everything, just all the little bits and pieces here coming together for puCK nicely so far. The storms were great. The force fields are still great, as that one to the right-hand side is huge. A few more storms to weaken down a couple more of these Banelings here. Now morphing in these Archons, hoping they can tank a little bit more. puCK having to pull all the way back, but his 4th base is going to be broken. And he has a lot of money in the bank, which he really needs to spend here to stay alive. Some Zealots are warping in, but are they just a bit too late with the Immortals having already dropped? Feels like puCK just a little bit too much money in the bank, and if he'd had that all invested into units, obviously this becomes such a cleaner defense than otherwise, you know, than it would otherwise look like, as we see the units still gathering on the far right. Lings, Hydras, and well, a lot more Balins coming in once again now from Cham. They're coming in the center. +2 melee upgrade from Cham, going to be finishing up as well here in just a moment or so. And still Lings and Hydras coming down to the south. Nexus on the low ground, going to be seeing a double expand from puCK. This one doesn't last very long though, those pylons. I'm surprised he didn't just cancel them as soon as he cancelled the Nexus. There was no way he's going to get down there to save any of that. puCK's still alive though, and again rebuilding the energy on the High Templar. Just really needs to keep cranking out those Immortals. He's actually building Tempest already, which I'm not really sure if you need Tempest right now against just the Lingbane Hydra. If the Zerg was teching up, sure, but he's continuing to be aggressive. And that Tempest would be much better spent on just a couple High Templars. Oh my god, those Zealots have to get away from those Banelings, puCK! He's going to be losing so many, and the storms are not going to come down either because he doesn't have the energy just yet. And the High Templar have to morph into Archons to stay alive. Now that was a bit more of a disastrous situation, as we're going to be seeing Hydras pushing their way up in towards the natural at the same time. puCK's 4th base has gone once again, as Cham just has a bit too much here. In game number 1, puCK will drop down 0-1 so far. I mean, obviously as a pros player, you generally have a lot of choices as to how you open, what sort of things you go for here, in comparison to other bits and pieces. Let's go to game number 2, but just before we do, holy crap, all these big donations in the last few days, and another one coming in right now. LeveLBW says, donates $50, and this is this is actually his donation message. $50, wow! Can I get some Wardy hearts in the chat for LeveLBW? I always say your name wrong, don't I? Sorry, that wasn't part of his message. Come on, chat, where are those Wardy hearts at? Thank you so much, LeveLBW. Wow, $50, man. Guys, can I get some hearts in the chat for LeveLBW? Come on, we need to show some love to the guy who has just thrown us a huge donation. Thank you so much for the $50. You know, it's funny because you've actually completely nailed it. I have to say it. You have completely nailed it, like word for word. That is more or less what I would say. So thank you. You not only did you donate $50 and became an esports hero here today, but you also straight up just gave yourself the thank you and the shout out that you needed. I didn't even have to think about it. Thank you so much, Level. And thank you so much for the Twitch Prime sub coming through as well. Guys, give me some Wardy hearts in the chat, please. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Yeah, thank you for the Twitch Prime sub too, really kind. The combo, wombo, $50 into sub. Appreciate it, man. I'm still sure I'm saying that, I know I say this every single time you donate or sub or whatever in the past. I know you've been a big donator before. I swear every time I say your name incorrectly. You should have, that would have been the perfect meme where after your name you put something like, oh god damn it, I don't even know how to say your name right or something. That would have been 10 out of 10. The message was 9 out of 10. I think that would have been the 10 out of 10 right there. But now you know for next time, right? Now you know how it's going to go. Or I might surprise you, you might actually learn how to say your name properly. Imagine that! Metagamed. Stream has taken it to whole new levels here tonight. Whole new levels. Alright, gonna see Probe, gonna be coming down towards the lower left, having a little bit of a scout around again. Thank you, Level. And let's see some love in that chat. Twilight Council coming down. Early stages of the game as we get this set up and rolling. Just gonna have a quick look at these votes. Hashtag puCK is on 61%. Hashtag Cham at the 39% marker right now. puCK definitely the chat favorite. Let's see if you can bounce back for the chat here in game number 2. It's been one day. How are you almost half health on the Bit Boss? Asks Port 80. I don't know, man. Chat's just been too awesome the last couple of days. What can I say? What can I say? It just doesn't seem to end. The support's been pretty insane yesterday, and I mean today as well. Obviously, it's it's been crazy. I really don't have words to describe it to you, but yeah, it's just been crazy. I mean, to be fair, you still have like 9,000 health. That's still quite a lot. Like, needless I say, like this time, you know, at the start of the stream yesterday, I don't think we'd ever had a Bit Boss above 9,000 health. And then we had 2 in a day, so I mean, considering you had half health and still have 9,000, it's, yeah, it's pretty good going in terms of, you know, being the boss still. Come on, guys, you can do better in the chat. I know not all of you have Wardy hearts to use. Just throw some normal hearts in there. Throw some love in. Let me know. Let me see some love for our supporter. Wardy, there's still a game going on to commentate. I know, Ali Saunders. Believe it or not, though, it's only the first 4 minutes. There's not too much happening. Fairly basic build orders. The Dark Shrine. Nothing we've not seen before. This is interesting from Cham, a fast Rotron, but might just be in response to the DT Shrine to get those D Roaches up to help defend against the Overlords. I know there's games going on, but sometimes we do have to say thank you to the people who support the stream, because if we didn't have people who supported the stream, then, believe it or not, we wouldn't be here at all. So, I get it. Sometimes the thank yous and stuff cut into the games, but again, if we don't say thank you to the people who support us, well, we wouldn't be here, so there would be no games, and then we wouldn't be able to complain about not talking about the game for the first couple of minutes, would we? Which would be a shame, I have to say. Feelings coming forwards, and they are going to grab these couple of adepts. They go down pretty quickly. And we're just going to be seeing a few more Dark Templar coming on up, obviously getting ready for those Archon drops. He only has 3 right now. He actually only has 3 gates warped in. There's the 4th warp gate getting set up. And I'm sure we'll see the 4th GT in a moment or two. Spores up. I mean, the roaches are here. There isn't a lair just yet, so he's going to be able to pull away from the spore crawlers pretty handily to minimize any real damage being done. He's not actually going to lose these DTs. He's under no threat of that as this DT walks in, sees the spore crawler as well. It's a good defense from Cham. Not only does he have the spores up in time, he also has the roaches in position to push those DTs away, so a spore can't just be sniped down super quickly, etc, etc. So Overlord actually sees this Archon morphing in over here, but Cham's maybe a bit too afraid of pulling away from his spores to really go chase. I mean, with the roaches, you don't really have much of an opportunity to do that, you know? As we're going to be seeing the Robo Base starting up here from puCK. Getting ready to go. Robo again set up here, getting ready to roll. We're going to see a second Archon coming through. And they're going to get ready to jump into this Warp Prism in the next couple of moments. Just going to be seeing the Lings still poking and prodding around. So the Nexus will drop on in here, and just going to be seeing the things getting picked off pretty quickly. That Robo Bay is going to be finishing up then, and obviously will open up access towards a mid-game tech choice between Colossi and Disruptors. And I mean, what will puCK go for? He's been fairly well known for Disruptor usage in the past. But even for puCK, I think Disruptors are not really in the meta right now, so I'm intrigued to see what he does do with the Robo Bay as we set up into this. You're going to see these couple of Archons just going to be trading nicely so far. Some shields being lost. It is going to be the Disruptor as his choice right now. So Disruptor starting to come on into play. Keep the love for the players coming into the chat as well, guys. Still kind of a 37-ish 64 vote, or 36-64 vote right now, puCK. Still that chat favorite. Keep those hashtags coming through. Always loving to see who you guys are supporting in these events and in these matches. Overlord from Cham just outside of the 3rd base. Just use it on the way up. Nothing you can really do about it. With roaches, I mean, obviously he's been making a few Lings here and there, but he's been primarily on roaches to defend initially. And they're not really as mobile, etc., as the Zerglings, and so you can't just dive across the map with roaches and then pull back. And so it's you know, it's a fairly simply taken 3rd base here from puCK. Who anyway, either way, if there was some roaches over here, he has a couple of mortals to help him defend, and that does actually go a long way as well. See how aggressive Cham wants to be as he gets +1 melee up here. He's going to play kind of Lingbane Roach / Ravager. This was the initial kind of play style that Zerg started to use when they started to really go into Lingbane for the first time. There was a while where Lingbane alone was used, and then kind of Lingbane Roach was figured out, and Lingbane Ravager. And as the Hydra's got a bit of a buff, Lingbane Hydra became the meta, and it's been the meta ever since, really. And so we do sort of see here that, you know, it's kind of a bit of an older school build play style, but just because he was forced into Roaches early instead of transitioning into Hydras, he's just going to roll with it. So we'll see how it works for him. Now, it will be interesting as well, because if he can hit those Disruptors onto the Ravagers, that would be huge. So we'll see what puCK can get done, as there's going to be seeing a couple of cannons, or a couple more pylons, sorry, actually coming up on this 3rd base. A lot of his army going to get ready to move on over there in the next few moments. Hydra Den will drop, so it will be a Hydra transition here in the end from Cham. Maybe actually, if this later Hydra Den just goes straight into a Lurker Den, that's a possibility too. Or he might just switch it straight up into Lingbane Hydra. Nice trade still on these Archons. Getting the more value you get out of those, the better a game you're going to have. The more you slow down the Zerg, the harder it's going to be for him to kill you. Surprised those Ravagers on trying to drop some biles onto that Warp Prism. I would imagine maybe it's just slightly out of range. It looks as though it can be reached, but you know, it might be one of those tricky scenarios where it's just, it looks like you can, but it just actually can't be in reality. puCK does move forward with his main army just to start taking the 4th base position as well. Still just the Warp Prism on the map up until now. puCK using this as a way to distract, buy time, and well, just make himself look pretty good so far in the game, I guess. See Archons coming up in towards the main base. Bunch of Zerglings from Cham on the way up right now, and now going to see those Archons starting to drop. Going to wait a whole bunch of those Zerglings right away. Roaches and Ravagers from Cham still pushing in too. Going to push puCK's Warp Prism back. Now we're going to be seeing Cham starting to move across the map. I mean, it is an aggressive composition. You would expect him to be fairly aggressive here, especially if the Roach Ravager kind of mixed in. It's not a composition that transpires too well later into the game. Obviously, he can tech up behind this, and that's exactly what he's trying to start doing with the Infestation bit coming in right now. As you can see, well, double overcharge being used, Stalker's blinking up to help defend. Obviously, it goes down nice and quickly, and Nanachi helps the DTs to pick off those Zerglings. These Archons here still doing damage as well, by the way. 45 kills between them. Oh, did he pick them up? He did save them. Wow, that one was close, though. No, DT, don't do it! Don't kill the banelings! They can't see you, but they can still hurt you. They're magical creatures, the banelings. I know you're pretty magical with your cloak, but banes are pretty clever themselves. DT's just going to pull away up here, although actually still saying that. No overseer with this army. It's a big actually mistake from Cham. If puCK is using these DTs as part of his defense / part of his composition. An army without overseer is kind of dangerous. Obviously, if they go down to the banes, then it's fine. But if the banes are used up and then DTs warp in, those roaches and ravagers could be in a little bit of a tough spot. Oh, well, this is dirty. We're going to see lings running by in towards the natural and main. At the same time, an army setting up to the right-hand side. Not a good time for anybody to be lagging out. Oh, wow. puCK demon right away. So let's do this. Cham is still 1-0 up. And it looks as though we are good to resume. So there's lings into those of the main. At the same time, ravagers and roaches are going to pull back from the third base. I'm just going to be seeing, well, 7 workers killed. This was not as bad as I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be a lot worse. 10 workers killed, 11. I think puCK actually dealt with this very well in the end. I think that one of the main kind of fears was this army pushing in towards the third, but Cham pulled back with it. Obviously didn't feel as though he could continue to push on in. What is interesting is the stalkers that have been added on from puCK here. Stalkers are not usually the sort of unit you add to the composition of a PvZ. You usually see charge loss going to be the kind of the basis of your army, this kind of the gateway force. So we'll see where this goes as Adrenal Glands is going to be starting on up in the production tab from Cham. He's got his Greater Spire on the way out. A few drones going down as those Archons are still on the map. I have to say, puCK, 11 minutes in, he's been harassed with these since the very early stages. Please don't say I'm going to curse him right now and finally let them die. God damn it. Here I am, the first time I'm like really complimenting these Archons and how well he's done with them. And he loses them not even 3 seconds later. Well, those Archons did do a lot. They had, what, like 45 kills between them when we checked a few minutes ago. I'm sure they got up to a lot more in the later stages there. puCK now going into Stargates. He's going to get ready to fight against incoming Broodlords. He's got some potential to push forwards now, though, anyways. The fact that he has a lot of Stalkers is one thing that will actually help him against Broods here. As we see these units pushing forwards. One Disruptor is going to be coming in. Oh my god, this Disruptor shot's going to be huge! Ravagers are going down. Another Ravager shot fired forwards as well. So we're still seeing these units just pushing on in. And, well, puCK, shots like that will help him out massively. 7 Broods start to morph, though. 7 Broods starting to morph here. Because at the same time we have Lingbane Hydra coming down the right side. Stalkers pushing in. We're going to be seeing a couple of these creep tumors starting to go down. We've got observers here with this now as well. Obviously getting rid of the creep. Looks a little bit of a scarier push in from the Zerg. Broodlords are there. Maybe this is going to be puCK just wanting to back away from this instead. Going to throw down some force fields. Some Banes will connect. Oh, the Disruptor to the south side is huge. Once again, though, it's another Disruptor shot. The onto the top side doesn't quite connect, though. Those are great Disruptors. They're picking up some real heavy kills. One Disruptor here has 18 kills. Another with 0, 13 on one. 0 and 0 on the other two, which I don't think have actually fired at all just yet. Gonna see some Guardian Shields being popped to help against the Hydra Fire and the Roaches as well, obviously. And just gonna see puCK pulling back away from that position for a moment or so. Again, the Disruptor catches the edge of the Banelings. So much damage being done in those scenarios time and time again. Well, it is still the Broodlords that are creating one of the bigger issues right now, and again, catching the end of this army. puCK just backing away and waiting for even just 3 Tempests, which are on the way up right now, will make a big difference in this. You'll see in Titan's plane coming through. I'm not sure if Ultras are a great decision. Against Stalkers, especially, I think Stalkers are very good about, dealing with Ultras, being able to blink back and being able to micro, rather than, say, for example, the, the Zealots, which can't really fight against Ultras without just getting destroyed. 5 workers picked off here, so we're going to be seeing the Warp Prism to the top side, set up and ready to come back into action. Has just killed a few workers here and there in the main base. Just a little bit of damage done. This DT going to get chased. Will go down to a second volley of Broodlings. And again, the first Tempest is now on the map. That will make a big difference. You're going to see the first Disruptor shots into the center of the armies again. Cham is really not playing very well against the Disruptors at the moment. I think it's one of his biggest weaknesses, allowing these Disruptors to get up to crazy number of kills. Well, he is switching things up with those Broodlords. We'll see what they can do. Oh, I don't like this. The Disruptors are coming forwards. One of them goes down, but he gets another one. Gets a huge connection anyways. Well, 2 Disruptors died off in that attack, but you could argue maybe still worthwhile potentially. Things, Banes, Ultras, and Broods pushing on forwards, and here we go. Now there's not really an answer to the Tempest, because there isn't really any anti-air here in the army of Cham. There's no Corruptors or anything. Okay, well, there's a handful of Corruptors coming in, but these Tempests, there's not enough Corruptors to really be scary and to shut these Tempests down super quick, and so we're going to be seeing these Broods continue to take quite a beating, and they're going down very swiftly. The fact that he keeps leaving Broods with 1 health is just so unfortunate. Ooh, attempt to blink forwards from the Stalkers doesn't quite work out, though. Cham going to be still dodging away from a couple more corrosive bars. Stalkers having to back away once again. Still going to be seeing the Corruptors cleaned out. Is Cham going to start breaking through right now? The Immortal getting taken down too. He's going to have to keep kiting away against these Ultras. Oh no, the Disruptors are on their own down the low ground. Oh, I love this though. There's no Overseer. We talked about it earlier, not having Overseers in his army, and now it's really going to hurt him. Stalkers will blink forwards as most of the Broods are not taken down, but at least pushed away. And the puCK will hold on. He loses the forward base, but he has a southern base now instead to work from anyways, so that will keep him rolling until that base up above is up and running once more. A lot of Zergling's going to run around the left-hand side. His Sloan DT here just finds himself a couple of Hydras. I don't think Cham will engage into this army again without multiple Overseers, because that's the sort of mistake you only really make once. You only need reminded of once in a game, and then you'll remember from that point on what happened the last time you didn't have the detection you needed to fight those DTs. Still seeing this army of puCK coming through the south side, seeing where it can go. Hydras to the top are looking to see where they can go as well. 6 Corruptors currently on the way up now from Cham. 6 Corruptors still coming on through here as we have. Well, I mean, he's just committing more to the anti-air, which he needs to do, obviously. I mean, the Tempest just wrecking through those Broodlords eventually in the end last time around. However, this time there's going to be a much better setup for puCK. More Archons in the army. He's going to have the High Templars for Storm as well, and that'll help initially against the Corruptors, and that'll just make them so much easier to pick up just with the Tempest alone. Hydras all the way to the top side as we're 17 minutes into game number 2 of this best of 5 series in the semi-finals of the WardiTV America's Open. After this we have a Terran versus Terran, a live takes on Keen, a 3rd place matchup and a grand final. Should be a great day of StarCraft because we really are just getting going, and well, so far this is game 2 has been 2 pretty great games. This one's still ongoing obviously as Cham coming to the south side. The Broods and Ultras trying to relocate, find themselves a position they can maybe justify attacking in from. puCK is maxed though, and with Tempest, Archons, and a High Templar based army, it's going to be a very powerful push. Maybe just missing a couple of Immortals, which would be obviously very successful and generally useful against the Ultras. I love that revelation. Now the Overseers, now the Tempests are going to be able to hit these Broodlords from a distance. Cham just pulling back a little bit here. He lacks a lot of utility with this army, I feel. You know, it's powerful Ultras and Broods, etc., but he doesn't have like Infestors or Vipers to just help out a little bit. At the same time, big push in towards the main with a lot of Zealots. The Zealots starting to get some damage done. Only 4 Zealots, or 3 Zealots actually on this Greater Spire. It might not even go down. Splitting his Zealots up here might actually cost him the ability to kill off a couple of these structures, and that is a shame. Just pull the army back though. At the same time, he's pushing forwards with the rest of it here. And he's going to be taking position where he can put himself between the bases of Cham, and obviously that forces Cham into a fight that might not be in the location he really wants to trade in. He's going to be puCK coming down this ramp, and now Cham has to attack down a ramp, and that's not going to be great at all. In fact, that's going to be quite terrible for him. Not really sure if that storm was needed, as these 11 drones are going to get massacred anyways. Now the storm should start going down. The mothership is going to recall itself back home, but the army is obviously still out here, so puCK has to commit. Where are the storms? He's got High Templar still in here with a lot of energy, but he's just not dropping any storms at all. Finally, they start to come down, but puCK's army has just melted. He had everything I feel like he needed in this army, but now it's not there. He's just cancelled his carriers to probably make Tempests. Oh no, puCK has just fallen apart in the last couple of moments. I mean, what's happened? He just has nothing anymore. That fight was a disaster in the end. I thought he was in a great position, but storms didn't come down. Archons just disappeared on it. I can't even explain what happened. I don't even really know what happened myself. All of a sudden, everything was just dying from puCK. I mean, I know the mothership recalled away, but I didn't think he had to recall away himself anyways. I just think he missed out on a lot of his spellcaster abilities there for storms, and I think that was going to be one of the key features to weakening up this army and stopping Cham from being able to push through. And now this base in trouble. A feedback comes down on an Overseer, on a Viper, I think, sorry. But the mothership is dead, and obviously a lot of probes going down as this base goes down too. And it looks as though Cham is still just pushing on forwards. And now Cham really is in control here of game 2 of this series. He's going to go up 2-0 in the best of 5, it seems. And that is going to be a difficult hill to climb back up for puCK. just as things were looking to be 1-1, I really thought puCK had this one. For that fight, I mean, dare we look at the army supply graph? Oh, it's messy. And that's when you know the fight was messed up. When it's this steep of a graph fight. puCK didn't have a bad composition. He didn't. He just really messed up this engagement here. And that really is the, well, something you can't really allow to happen. Kiting backwards actually ducks that Tempest into a storm. And that's going to be Cham taking game. Cham found a way, found the fight he needed. And here we go. To the top left-hand side, our blue Zerg player from OSC Elite. Give it up if you're cheering on Cham. Bottom right-hand side, our orange Protoss player from Root Gaming. Give it up for puCK. Game 3 of the series, guys. I hope you're all having a good time tonight. I hope you're all doing well and having a good one. It's been a good couple of games to start us off, and again, plenty more to come. 2 more best of 5s after this, and a best of 7 as well. Wardy, can I please vouch for an option to buy at MeUndies via Bankwire? Dude, I have no say in that. There's not much I can say. Alright, we're going to be seeing the pro just scouting here early. Look and see what we can get up to. Wardy cursed the Archons and that was the end of the match. No! Don't blame it on me! I want puCK to do well! I want puCK to do well, god damn it. Anyways, we're going to be seeing the puCK gonna throw down a pause. Hopefully not having too many more issues. Hopefully it's something that was already disappeared. Couple of moments. The hashtag votes are still in play. Cham switched colours to blue, but 60-40. Our chat favourite is not the one who is favoured in the scoreline at the moment here. Cham 2-0 up. You could end this series. We actually haven't had a 3-0 so far in the playoffs. Yesterday in the round of 8, which is actually a bit of a surprise. You know, this doesn't usually happen, but we had 3 matches go to 4 maps. And 1 match go to all 5. Which was really cool. Nice to see no 3-0s. Players are ready. And we resume. This probe was patrolling back and forwards on the 3rd base. And will now be nibbled away at by that drone to get pushed away. We'll see what, again, build puCK opts to go for here. Does he play maybe a higher Oracle count build? Does he actually play maybe the Charge Lot opening where he actually does get aggressive? Which Charge Lot and Archons in play? We will see. So you see the Nexus just coming up over on the natural expansion. Holy shit, finally got to the stream. 12 ads? You should have had 3 minutes of ads just now because you might have just joined during the ad break, but unless they were 15-second ads, you shouldn't have been getting 12. Should have just been for 3 minutes. A lot of people saying the ads are going a bit crazy the last couple of days. If you're having ad issues, guys, do you use the little report button and report to Twitch? Say, like, more ads are running than they should be, or ads are running at weird times. They can't fix it unless they know about it. Do appreciate you guys sitting for the ads, though, when you can. It does go a long way to supporting. Drones coming in and minding away on the natural expansion, the initial saturation being set up here. You'll see a Nubatized Carapace from Cham. He has gone into this earlier in other games too, as we're going to see a Twilight and a Robo once more. puCK looking as though he'll try the Archon drops once again, because to be fair, he got into a good position with the Archon drops there in game 2, and I don't blame him for repeating this opening, because I think it gave him a good position to work forwards from, and that's what he needs now here in game 3. Down 0-2, get yourself into a good position, do something you feel like will work again. Sure, you know, that works, that makes sense. So, looking good. Looking good so far. Rogue will be finishing up in a few as we see Cham going to go for a similar response to the last time, just throwing that Roach roaring down nice and early. Not going to be messing around too much. Just wants to kind of set up again those roaches. A very sturdy way to push back the DTs. Very sturdy way to push back the Archons. Not as flimsy as those Lings oftentimes. Can still, you know, be difficult to deal with the Archons, but it's a lot easier to lose less with the roaches. The only downside is, of course, you're building the roaches, which are maybe not as effective later into the game, which is why we don't really see roach-based compositions in ZvP any longer. And that's why a lot of players do opt to try and defend with just the Lings in these sort of scenarios as well. So War Prism about to pop. The 3 extra gates are coming in, of course. We're setting up in towards those Dark Templar, which will become Archons as well. I've actually already seen the charge very far along, though, and so maybe puCK going to be fairly aggressive with this too. Get those initial DTs, get those Archons going, and then start warping Zealots nice and quickly. Spore Crawler going to be finishing that in a second. Spore finishes up, and again, a few more Zerglings coming in over to the left-hand side. Getting that charge about 80% of the way done. We'll be finishing soon. It will open opportunities. Those Zealots there. Just get ready. Actually, it's interesting, he warped in Zealots first. He warps in the Zealots, now you'll warp in the DTs, I suppose. And we'll see 2 Archons, obviously 4 DTs, 2 Archons. Math! Math. We'll see 2 Archons with these Zealots, and actually, if he waits a little while, we might even see another wave of Zealots before he actually commits in. Or he sends the Prism elsewhere, and sends all of these units into the 3rd base at the same time while pushing the main, perhaps, with this War Prism, and drawing those units out of position. I like the idea, although he's going to be running to creep already, so now Cham knows he's going to have to leave something down to the south side. And it is only 4 gates, so it's not like he can warp in a super dangerous number of units. You're going to see the Zealots pulling back the DTs as well. And there is DTs into the main base, so it's just going to be a split of Dark Templar. Try and see what they can do right now. You see them blocking the ramp, okay. I mean, it works until the lair comes up. There's no mobile detection, so you would have to put a Spore Crawler in a further forward position there. Try and do a little bit more. Another DT warps in. puCK's just going to send to the ramp as well. Again, just stopping units from transferring between bases. And you're going to see 4 more DTs getting ready to hop up here in towards this prism. What is the plan here for puCK? Warps in 4 more, a few Zealots now too. And he's just going to push forward with all of these units, DTs and Zealots. I mean, at some point I think he has to try and warp in Archons though, right? And it's kind of his issue. Why does he actually warp those Archons in? Surely not over here. He's still poking and prodding around. He's going to try and target down the Roach-Roaring, but it's very hard to justify. 4 more Zealots warp, and he's really committing to this very unorthodox attack in the main just because he is building so many DTs still. And this Roach is going to run to a choke point to limit the surface area. You're going to see these units committing a little bit further this time around, now pulling back away again, away from the Spore Crawler positioning. Looks as though puCK just going to be leaving. He only lost Zealots in all of this. He kept the DTs alive for the most part, so that's obviously nice for him. Well done. And well, does he morph in Archons here? Because it is a bit risky. You morph in the Archons here, you only have 1 Prism. It's going to be 4 Archons, and you just can't lift all of those Archons at the same time if you do need to try and evacuate and save those units. Single swipe. It amazes me that creep teamers don't get one shot by DTs. It's like, what? God damn it. Like, how is a creep teamer so good a DT can't just swipe through it and just blast that little bit of creep away? I know. That's one that doesn't make sense in my head. Another ship core is still collecting to the right side. You're going to see this prism of puCK going to be coming over to the left. The DT is just going to be unloading. And they're going to probably push up in towards the 3rd base in the next few moments. Meanwhile, a 4th hatchery from Cham is on the way up as well. And we just have these 4 DTs. Still ready to try and do a bit of something. Some Bane drops getting loaded up by Cham. We're going to make use of that earlier. Numatized Carapace. We've actually seen Cham being relatively passive himself in terms of harassment squads throughout the series. We've not really seen him at all using Bane drops or anything along those lines. This 4 DT is going to sit over here, but oh no, the Roaches are coming in. There's an Overseer as well, but we will see them being saved by that Prism. puCK setting up at home into a fairly standard composition. The Temple Archives kind of slow to come on down here, so we're not going to be seeing the Storm for a little while. As you do see a lot of these Zerglings coming on over to the right hand side, Roaches, Ravagers and Banes collecting themselves together as well. A lot of units setting up here, still looking to hit this third base, and now would be a perfect time because all of these other units are across the map. Oh no, puCK's moving into a very awkward position to fight in when it comes to kind of the positioning here. Sandry's trying to force field a lot, and he's going to need a few more force fields. These Immortals need to be saved, they need to be kept back. Triple overcharge will be used to try and help. The Immortals have made it to safety. Meanwhile, DTs and Zealots come in towards the third base, and they will start a fight against anything that comes in to stop them. But there's Roaches here of the Zerglings, and that might be a bit too much, as we're going to see the Bane drops actually going to start coming in on top of the army, on top of probes as well. And Cham is just overrunning puCK right now. GG. Cham with the 3-0. Our first 3-0 of the bracket. Cham is just a little bit too good today.